Hello, I'm Shirley Gordon. Our church is celebrating its 100th year anniversary with spotlights on auxiliaries, former members, descendants, former pastors that helped to make our church what it is today. Our spotlight today is on the history of the Senior Usher Board of Greater St. John Missionary Baptist Church, presented by Beverly Faulkens. Hello, Beverly.
Hi, Shirley. How are you today?
I'm great. I know you have an abundance of history to share with our church, and I can't wait to hear about it, about the when and the who. So let us hear from you.
Okay. St. John's Senior Usher Board was organized in the fall of 1930, which means that this year our board will be 90 years old. The board was formed under the pastorate of Reverend H.A. King, and it was formed by Mr. Charles Grundy, Mr. George Faulkens, and Mr. John Coleman. And it was a dream of theirs to have this usher board. Brother Faulkens was elected the first president, and after 6 months he left the city, and Brother McCullum finished his unexpired term and was re-elected the next year. The third president to be elected was L.Z. Lully, who served 1 year. Brother Leno Jennings succeeded Brother McCullum as the fourth president of the board and served untiringly for 21 years. To write the history of the St. John Senior Usher Board is write the history of Leno Jennings. For in the 21 years of his service, he gave his all for what could easily be called the Leno Jennings Institute of Ushering. It was this president who, with the aid of his faithful followers, raised the first $1,500 on the St. John Building Fund. During his administration, the membership of the board increased to over 92 members on roll, at which point he had the largest board or largest auxiliary in the church. Due to the growth and success of this local board, several other boards in the city caught the gleam, and the citywide Union Usher Union was born on May 18, 1935 at St. John. In 1941, Brother Jennings was elected Union president and served 13 years. As our board grew, our president grew, and certainly became an honor to our church and community. In July of 1947, Senior Usher Board joined the National Ushers Convention in Detroit, Michigan. In September of 1950, the Senior Usher Board saw fit to organize a Junior Usher Board, which is still giving wonderful service to the church today, as well as training the youth in Christian service. The Senior Usher Board does much to alleviate many of the financial burdens of the church by donating the box system for collecting funds, by paying the monthly utility bills of the church for several years, and making liberal contributions for the purchasing of the College Street parsonage. This auxiliary continues to support the upkeep of the church. For example, the lovely furniture that you see out in the vestibule by the office was purchased by the Usher Board for our church's use. Some of the presidents of our board have been, as I said, Mr. George Hawkins, Mr. Hilton McCullum, Leno Jennings, Mr. Jesse Love, Mr. Nathaniel Strickland, Mr. Andy Phillips, Mr. Albert Brown, Mr. Leroy Gordon, your dad, and Sister Allie McMorris. And currently, I'm the president of the Usher Board. So in the 90 years, we've had 10 presidents of the Senior Usher Board. At this time, our board is not as strong as it once was, but we've continued to do the things that we can to support the church, and that includes paying our monthly budget so that we're supporting the church in all its activities. Okay.
What a wonderful, wonderful history. And you know, some of those names that you were talking about, honey, I remember those names. I said they were awesome, awesome leaders. Our usher board was so fantastic. They were just all on time, all in step, all professional, that it just makes me want to just shout that I'm a part of that. I'm a part of the church, And our senior usher board was so great. Now, Bev, you know, I have to ask this question.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say thank you for giving us that history. But I'd like to ask the question, well, why are you still here?
Wow. Well, I've been here since February of 1966. And when I came to St. John, we had just moved to South Bend, and I was looking for a church. And this was one of the first churches that I came to visit. And one of the ladies in the choir, when I stood up and said where I came here from, she said, "I know your mama." And it was Mildred Nichols. She and my mom had gone to high school together. So that's what brought me to St. John. And the reason that I stayed here is because my kids grew up here, they were trained here. It was my one big family here in South Bend, because I had those sisters and brothers here in South Bend. No really family other than my husband's family, and they left here shortly after we moved here. So this was my family. So I'm still here, and I kind of gravitated to the older members of the church. So they always had me involved in something, and that's why I stayed.
And you know that you say that, I know you do more than just on the senior usher board. What else do I see you doing in this church?
Well, I work with the funeral repasts for funerals. I've directed Vacation Bible School, taught Vacation Bible School. I've taught Sunday school. I was a part of Missionary Circle number 3 when Miss Hyatt was alive, because she was the one that got me involved with the missionaries. As a matter of fact, when my youngest son was born, was just before she left and went to Bendix to work, and she had me working in the church office in her place in 1972. So I've been in and out in a lot of different capacities, but I just love my Greater St. John church family.
Thank
So
you.
that's why I'm still here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for presenting that history to us, and then sharing a little bit about the church as to what you do and what all you do. Once again, this is just a little bitty piece of our 100th year anniversary that we're showcasing on the 2nd and 4th Sunday. So listen, I want you to all stay in tune, because we got more to come.